You may be sabotaging your own brain every day without even realizing it. While brushing your teeth, preparing coffee, or setting the lunch table, common, seemingly harmless foods may be impairing your memory, concentration, reasoning, and even silently increasing the risk of serious diseases such as Alzheimer's, dementia, and depression. And the scariest thing, many of these foods are present in most people's routine. According to the World Health Organization, more than 55 million people in the world today live with some type of dementia. The forecast is that this number will almost triple by 2050. Although genetic factors play a role, up to 40% of these cases could be avoided with simple changes in lifestyle, especially in diet. In other words, what you choose to put on your plate can, over time, be what makes or breaks your brain. Some of these foods damage important brain structures, inflame neurons, unbalance neurotransmitters, and directly affect the functioning of the mind. The worst, destruction happens in silence. The signs only appear when it is too late. Frequent memory lapses, difficulty making decisions, inexplicable discouragement, constant irritability, small daily failures that are often attributed to stress or age, but which in fact may have much deeper and preventable roots. In this video, you will discover the 10 foods that most destroy the brain in silence. We will clearly explain how each of them acts on your nervous system, and most importantly, what you can do to protect your mind, preserve your memory, and maintain your mental health over the years. We now begin to reveal the foods that are silently undermining your brain health. Some of them are so common that they might be in your fridge or cupboard right now. The way these foods act varies. Some inflame, others intoxicate or interfere with communication between neurons. But they all have one thing in common. They greatly impair brain function over time. The countdown starts now. Number 10. Refined sugar. It is almost impossible to talk about foods that are harmful to the brain without mentioning sugar. Its excessive consumption is associated with a reduction in neurotrophic factors, substances that keep neurons healthy. Additionally, sugar causes glycemic spikes that inflame the brain and directly affect memory and learning. Studies show that diets high in sugar increase the risk of dementia and depression. Number 9. Soft drinks, including zero and diet versions. Here, the danger goes beyond sugar. Sodas contain artificial sweeteners like aspartame, which can negatively affect mood and cognition. Furthermore, the phosphoric acid present in these drinks interferes with the absorption of important minerals for the brain, such as magnesium and calcium, compromising neural chemical balance. Number 8. Fried foods and ultra-processed foods. Burgers, fries, nuggets, packaged snacks. These foods are rich in trans fats, known to increase bad cholesterol and cause inflammation in the brain. Research shows that these fats reduce brain volume and compromise long-term memory, especially in older adults. Number 7. Excessive alcohol. Although moderate consumption is culturally accepted, studies indicate that even small frequent amounts can cause loss of brain volume, especially in the frontal lobe, responsible for decision-making and emotional control. Alcohol also interferes with the production of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and serotonin. Number 6. Fast foods and processed snacks. In addition to bad fats, these foods contain large amounts of sodium, preservatives, and chemical additives. This combination negatively impacts cognitive function and neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, learn, and form new connections. Diets with a high consumption of fast food are associated with a drop in school performance, increased anxiety, and difficulty concentrating. Now that you've seen half the list, you're probably surprised by the presence of these common foods. But the next 5 are even more dangerous. And the worst part? Many people consume them daily believing that they are harmless. We now move on to the 5 most destructive foods for your brain. They are at the top of the list not only because of the frequency with which they are consumed, but also because of the intensity of the impact they have on essential functions such as memory, reasoning, emotional balance, and even protection against neurodegenerative diseases. They are true attackers of the mind, acting surreptitiously, but with devastating effects over time. Number 5. Monosodium glutamate, known as MSG. This additive enhances the flavor of food and is present in ready-made seasonings, industrialized sauces, and instant noodles. The problem is that it acts as an excitotoxic. That is, it excessively stimulates neurons until they collapse and die. Furthermore, MSG is related to the appearance of headaches, mental fatigue, confusion, and changes in mood, especially in people sensitive to the substance. Number 4. Excess white flour. Breads, cakes, pasta, and cookies made with refined flour have a high glycemic index. This means they are quickly turned into sugar in the blood, causing insulin spikes and brain inflammation. These foods affect mental clarity, favor the emergence of so-called brain fog, and hinder the production of neurotransmitters linked to well-being. In the long term, this eating habit can accelerate cognitive aging. Number 3. High sodium foods. Excess salt doesn't just affect the heart and blood pressure. It also compromises brain function. Sodium in large quantities unbalances the fluids that nourish the brain, causing stiffness in blood vessels and impairing the oxygenation of neurons. There is evidence that diets high in salt reduce attention span and directly affect the formation of recent memories. Number 2. Processed meats. Sausages, hams, salami, sausages in general contain preservatives such as nitrites and nitrates. These substances form potentially carcinogenic compounds in the body and are linked to cognitive decline. Research shows that frequent consumption of processed meats can significantly increase the risk of Alzheimer's. Furthermore, the additives present in these products generate inflammation and alter the chemical balance of the brain. Number 1. Refined vegetable oils such as soybean, canola, corn, and sunflower oil. Although many people consider them healthy alternatives, the excess omega-6 in these oils causes an inflammatory imbalance that profoundly affects brain function. This silent inflammation impairs communication between neurons, interferes with the production of serotonin, and hinders cell regeneration. The result? Increased risk of depression, anxiety, and progressive cognitive loss. We have reached the end of our list of the 10 foods that most harm the brain, but knowledge alone is not enough. Now that you know who the villains are, it's time to understand how to protect yourself from them in practice. Before we continue with the strategies to protect your brain, it's worth taking a quick pause to reflect. How many of these foods we just listed are part of your routine? 1, 2, 5, or all 10? This question may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Because the sooner you identify these habits, the easier it will be to transform them. It's not about eliminating everything overnight, but about becoming aware of the accumulated impact that these choices have over time. The brain, like any other organ, needs care. And caring starts with what we put on our plate. If today you feel that you are more forgetful, irritated for no reason, having difficulty concentrating or thinking clearly, perhaps the problem is not in the excess of stimuli, but in the excess of foods that sabotage your mind. In fact, if you've come this far, it's because you care about your own mental health, and that's the first step. Therefore, I would like to take this moment to make you an important invitation. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to know this information, and subscribe to the channel. Your interaction helps spread this content to more people and motivates us to continue producing relevant and reliable information about health, longevity, and well-being. And if you think you've learned a lot so far, know that the best part is yet to come. In the next chapter, we will show you what to do from today to protect your brain in a natural, simple, and extremely effective way. Because just as important as knowing what to avoid is learning how to build a routine that strengthens your mind and prevents illnesses in the long term. Now that you know which foods silently harm your brain, it's time to take action. The good news is that the brain has an impressive capacity for recovery, especially when exposed to the right nutrients and consistent habits. Small changes in diet and lifestyle, when made frequently, generate profound and lasting results. Below, you will learn about 3 simple attitudes that can strengthen your neural connections, protect your cognitive functions, and prevent premature brain aging. The first attitude is to replace intelligently. Avoiding villains is not enough. You need to choose better alternatives for everyday life. Refined oils can be swapped for extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, or ghee, which are good fats with anti-inflammatory properties. Instead of breads and pastas with white flour, choose whole grain or naturally fermented versions, which have a low glycemic index and preserve the flow of energy in the brain. Instead of soda, try naturally flavored waters, unsweetened teas, or whole grain juices in moderation. The second attitude is to reinforce the consumption of neuroprotective foods. Fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel are rich in omega-3, a type of fat essential for proper brain function. Red fruits, such as strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries, are powerful sources of antioxidants, which combat oxidative stress and prevent the aging of nerve cells. Also include oil seeds such as walnuts and chestnuts, turmeric as a daily seasoning, and dark green vegetables, which provide B vitamins and magnesium, essential nutrients for emotional balance and mental clarity. The third attitude is to take care of hydration and sleep. Few people know, but mild dehydration is enough to reduce the ability to concentrate and affect short-term memory. Therefore, drinking water regularly throughout the day is a simple gesture that directly impacts cognitive performance. Sleep is also essential. During the night, the brain performs a kind of neural cleaning, eliminating accumulated toxins and consolidating learned information. Getting between 7 and 9 hours of quality sleep per night is one of the most important factors in preserving mental health throughout life. These three attitudes, replacing, reinforcing, and caring, work as a tripod to sustain brain vitality, and they don't require radical changes, just daily commitment. Furthermore, it is worth remembering the importance of undergoing periodic exams, especially if you have a family history of neurodegenerative diseases. Nutritional assessments and brain inflammation tests help identify imbalances before they manifest in serious ways. Throughout this video, you discovered the 10 foods that, when consumed frequently, can compromise your brain health in a silent, progressive, and often irreversible way. He saw how seemingly harmless ingredients, such as refined sugar, white flour, soft drinks, and vegetable oils, can interfere with the functioning of neurons, cause inflammation, affect mood, reduce memory capacity, and increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. He also learned that the problem is not just the presence of these foods in his routine, but the absence of conscious choices that can protect and strengthen his mind. The brain is the organ that controls everything: your energy, your decisions, your emotions, your memories. He needs nutrients, rest, and healthy stimuli. Without this, they lose performance, age faster, and become vulnerable to diseases that can compromise not only their quality of life, but their independence and identity. But the most important point of this video is that you have the power to change this scenario. Small attitudes, applied consistently, have a huge impact over time. Replacing foods, including sources of omega-3, staying hydrated, sleeping well, and maintaining an anti-inflammatory diet are not sacrifices. They are investments in longevity, clarity, and well-being. If this content made sense to you, now is the time to act. Like this video, share it with friends and family, and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving serious, accessible, and transformative information about health, food, and quality of life. Every week, new content like this arrives to help you live longer and better, with clarity, balance, and autonomy. Remember, taking care of your brain is taking care of what is most precious: your history, your consciousness, your ability to feel and live fully. And it all starts with something simple but decisive: what you choose to eat.